I'll fight you.
Nathaniel in Mexico City, you are live with Eric and Jamie. How are you doing?
Oh, hey guys. I'm doing well. How about you?
Doing good.
doing
From
well.
Mexico City. Nice. Did you come through online?
I actually was interested. At first, I was interested in calling the atheist experience because when I used to be an atheist, I really enjoyed the show. I really enjoyed the logic, but it's hard to get into the show. And I saw a couple of shows about you guys, and I really liked your attitude, and you seem like really cool. So I thought I'd call in. I just want to say I'm kind of nervous, and I've never called into any show, and English is not my native language, so I'll try to make my point the best way I can, without seeming like an idiot.
No, you're doing well, and honestly, your English is way better than my Spanish, so we're good.
Okay, well, what I'd like to talk about is I can think of any reason why an atheist would have an objective source of a moral obligation, right? So most atheists tend to be like moral subjectivists. And for example, if you look at Sam Harris, what he says is that we can get an objective morality because we all have the same goal of improving our well-being as a human race, and we can determine what's right and what's more appropriate for that goal than what not. And I agree. I think that makes a lot of sense. But I think most people don't have the innate goal of maximizing humanity's well-being, but rather their own well-being, and as a consequence, like secondary, their family and friends' well-being. Most people say a good life is for them is if they have a good job, a nice wife, a nice husband, a nice car. If they're happy, then the world's happy, right? I mean, we most are, in that way, we're incredibly selfish and self-centered.
Yeah. Particularly if they want both a husband and a wife. Leave some for the rest of us.
Well, yeah, you can have both of them. But that's innate in our biological makeup, right? We really aren't martyrs or anything like that. We just want to be happy, right? So if that's true, and I think it's true, that our ultimate innate goal is our own well-being, and by extension, our family and friends, because they're in relation to us. They're not objectively valued. They're subjectively valued to our own goal and to ourselves. And that has a lot to do with biology, because they're related to us, and that's why we value them, right? And as closer as they are to us, they are more valued. So in that way, why should an atheist ought to act morally when it benefits his own well-being more to act immorally?
Okay,
right?
So just to phrase this, is this why do we decide to behave morally versus immorally? Is that right?
Not like that, because there are reasons why you may want to act morally, because it benefits more to you to act morally, because you want to have a good relationship with the other person, so you don't want to cheat on them or lie to them or something like that. That's not beneficial to your own well-being. But why act morally when acting immorally is more beneficial to you, all things considered, right?
To be clear, do you mean like in a specific example? No, I'm not asking for one. I mean, are you trying to say that in general it would be more beneficial for me to act immorally, or are you saying if there was a circumstance?
Actually, generally, you could say that acting morally is more beneficial, right?
Yeah.
But there are certain circumstances where acting immorally may benefit you more, or does benefit you more.
So can I
you and a stranger hanging from a cliff, there's only one vine
just to be able
to climb up, whatever. Sorry. No, it's all good.
Just to be able to compare and help me here. What is your answer to this? Maybe we agree with you. What do you got?
My answer is, you need an objective. You need for morality to be, because otherwise morality would just be a matter of convenience and utility to yourself. For morality as a concept of good and evil to exist, you need a moral obligation, right?
So hold on, you said you need an outside objective truth. What are you referring to?
Not just the truth, but rather an obligation, because truth is valued because of its usefulness. For example, math. You could say 2 + 2 = 4, and that's useful to you. It doesn't matter if it's true. What matters about truth is that it's useful. It's more useful to go with truth than not. So you could have
like
a
we're
moral
dancing.
objective.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the reason that it matters is that it's useful. It's more useful to understand what is true, or have a real understanding of an accurate understanding of reality than to have an inaccurate understanding of reality. But if your statement is, what motivation would a person without a God or without a belief in God have for doing the right thing, even if it's disadvantageous or even if it's not as good for them personally?
So hold on.
Because doing the right thing is advantageous for humanity, and I care more about that, is my personal answer.
And for me, I kind of want to drill down, Nathaniel. So it sounds like you're getting awfully close to the presuppositional apologetic that you need to have your morality grounded in God. Is that where you're coming from?
Yeah, I think that's because if you don't have it, maybe not God, but an objective source of an obligation. I ought to do this, not I should do it because it benefits me, right?
Yeah. So here's the answer to that. While on paper that sounds great, the fact is we're in this world together, and we do the best that we can. What we don't want to do is we don't want to assume that there is something that there isn't, and then give ourselves special privileges, right? So if you are saying that somebody is doing that, I would challenge them to prove the validity of that. We are navigating this world the best that we can, but to say you need to have it grounded in something outside of yourself that is an absolute truth, you need to make a whole lot of assumptions, and you need to be able to sidestep a whole bunch of really weird, awkward, terrible pitfalls. On one side, you're looking at the accusations of social Darwinism, if that happens. Oh yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You also have nihilism. You're dealing with just all of these, these different places to go. But the honest answer is we don't know, but we're trying our best. But I would very much encourage you to take that line of reasoning and throw it away, because it's no good. It doesn't lead you to anything productive. All it does is invalidate the other. It seeks to invalidate the other side instead of making an argument of its own, right?
Well, in a way, because my argument for God is not that. It's not where I'm coming from. I have other things for that. But what interests me more, because when I was an atheist, I thought about it, and I said, it's rational then to act. The most rational way to act is in a self-centered way, because my goal is for my pleasure, satisfaction, and I don't want pain, right? So I better act in the way that maximizes the pleasure I get from this life and decreases my pain, right?
No.
I think.
That's not that's a matter of evaluating what your goal is when you're acting. So you can believe in a God and also believe that you should maximize your pleasure and minimize your pain.
And on top of that, there are a bunch of other things that people do that absolutely don't cause them pleasure, but they do anyway. Self-sacrifice. People talk about doing something completely selflessly.
Anything that Phil Session does with his entire life.
There's
Phil
a word,
Session is
and I'm
alive
completely
and real.
missing it, and that's really bad. But that's okay.
Stamp collecting.
So why do people, stop it, why do people do those things? Well, you know,
Model
you can
train.
honestly say that I've heard the argument that your continued genetic line has more to do with it than your personal happiness.
Yeah.
The
selfish gene.
But you see, that's not rational. Even if it were true.
Why
even
isn't it
if,
rational?
If I were biologically wanting to do something, that doesn't mean that biological impulse is rational. In the same way that maybe I want to have sex with a very, very attractive girl without protection that I know.
So
that,
hold on, just a second. I'm sorry. Jungle Jargon, Mr. Shadow Kitty, and Owen all say it's altruism is the word I was looking for. Thank you. Sorry, go on.
Oh, you were looking for altruism.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, my bad.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Thought you were looking for like baton twirling or something
So
else. Point.
maybe we would have biologically, maybe we have the goal not only to survive and have pleasure and everything like that, but also to pass our genes, and that's why we would want to sacrifice for others so that our genes may pass on. But from an individual goal, that doesn't make much sense. I mean, self-sacrifice doesn't make very much rational sense. Maybe if your goal is another, but as I said, I think our goal, everybody's goal, maybe not you personally, but generally our goal is for ourselves. Otherwise, we would live in another way. If we really wanted humanity to be good, it would already have been good a long time ago. But our goal is more about ourselves, about our own tribe, so to speak, to be well off, right?
I gotta disagree with the statement. Oh, no, it's not rational, because you've touched on why that statement that you've made is false. So it's either rational or irrational based on the goal. If you change the goal, then yeah. So if your goal is I want everything for me, then self-sacrifice doesn't meet that goal. It would be irrational to engage in self-sacrifice in order to get more stuff.
And because we don't observe that in the world that we're in, we can actually we can line that up. Right, Nathaniel? Because we don't observe that happening.
Sorry, I missed that.
No, that's okay. Because we don't observe that happening, we can rule that out.
I'm sorry, can you repeat that? I missed the last part.
Sure. Because we don't see that happening, people, our society at large, where people are only out for personal self-gain to the exclusion of everyone else, we don't see that regularly in society. So we can rule that out as a reason.
I cannot disagree, because we don't see people do it to the exclusion of others, but they include others, but their larger goal is for themselves. So they include others because they benefit from it.
Yeah.
Right?
So
I mean, not necessarily because. Not necessarily because. So there are people that do things for the benefit of others because it benefits others. If you want to say, oh, there are people that engage in altruism and they're able to do that because after they get home from the soup kitchen, they can put their feet up, and sit on their really nice couch and watch a plasma TV. We can have that conversation about how it's easier to help others if you don't have to work as hard to feed yourself.
Yeah, but
the statement that like, oh no, people only go to a soup kitchen because it benefits themselves is not one that.
No, or even if they do it totally altruistic, they only do it on Sundays, right? They don't spend their life doing it.
I do.
Their goal is not. They work.
Phil does.
And they work for themselves. They go to the movies. They do all things in a day about themselves and not for others.
So
maybe they go to the kitchen on a Sunday or something like that for a couple of hours.
So
but the rest of the time,
So I kind of agree with you, almost. So people have personal motivations for everything, and in the life of hypothetical person Adam, right? In the life of Adam has personal motivations, and one person will be with Adam throughout the entirety of Adam's life, and that person is Adam. So Adam knows more about when Adam is hungry than anyone else, or when they're tired, or whatever. However, Adam also, in this hypothetical, has the personal motivation of it makes them happier. They want the world to be a better place. And so they go to a soup kitchen. And now we're just arguing about like, well, what does altruism really mean? Does it really exist? If you're only being altruistic because you want to, does that count?
Yeah.
There are people that want to help each other. Some people more than others.
And
Yeah,
you
but,
can even
yeah,
you can even turn it on its head and look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs. You need that support to be able to grow into the best person that you can be, and contributing to that system creates a better world for you.
Of course.
So,
But
In the same way that paying taxes for public education, even if you don't have kids, means that someone else's kids, are more intelligent and less likely to crash a dump truck into your house or whatever.
yeah. So we do have a whole lot of calls up. So I think we're going to move on. But Nathaniel,
Okay.
you were great. I mean,
thanks for
your
calling.
mastery of the English language was able to get everything out.
Thumbs up. Yeah.
And we really, really appreciate you listening and calling. And even though you disagree, us having this conversation was fantastic. So thank you.